thought. Jim, you're up. What's your question for Jon or Dermot?
Yeah, first of all, again, thanks to Derm, Brian, the Buffco team for introducing our members to Jon. Jon, through Good Life Podcast, Mastermind. Ever since then, you've been one of my favorite follows on social media. Thanks so much for serving us. Love your testimony, your message, your positive leadership focus, energy bus, optimism being a competitive advantage, gratitude focus. I can go on and on. Get to versus have to mindset. One thing I love about you, though, is your love for sports and how you've served various teams by speaking with them. And of course, you mentioned already, I was going to bring this up because I saw you post about it. I'm a Washington football fan. And so I loved how you spoke to the Commanders before the NFC Championship game. So I was just curious, who connected with you? Was it Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, who hooked you up to speak to the team? And how's that experience for you? If you could tell us more about that, I'd love to hear if that's possible.
Well, first I have to say, I just love the Buffinis. Dermot, Brian, I just love the Buffinis, love the family, love everything they're about. Like, they're amazing. And Brian, years ago, really, encouraged me, like, just in many ways, invited me to come speak many years ago, and loved the energy bus and just believed in me early in my career. So it's been incredible. And I loved coming back to Mastermind. I don't know how long ago that was. That was special. And I was in the airport the other day, and a woman came up to me. I was on the phone, but she came up, she goes, I saw you at the Buffini event. She's like, I followed you ever since. And it was so cool. And so my president of my company now used to work for Tom Ferry, which is really funny. And so I tease him all the time that, like, how much I love Buffini's, because I've never worked with Tom Ferry. I've always worked with Buffini. And I was on the phone with Jon, my president, and when the Buffini person came up to me, I said, and I go, I love Buffini. They're the best, like, best coaching company in the world. So Jon could hear it, which is really funny. So I just want to tell you that funny story because it's so much I love it. And I do hope to come back in the future. I hope Brian Dermot will bring me back to one of the next events, because I miss it. It's been a while. So I'd love to come back. I have brought, Dermot hasn't even read all my new books. I have so many new books, like 10 new ones since the other ones. And so how did it happen with the Commanders? Dylan Thompson was a quarterback at University of South Carolina, a rock star. And when he graduated, he was trying to make it in the NFL. His mom had read my stuff and encouraged him to read it, and he started reading my books. And from there, he reached out, and I just, poured into him. I just, supported him, encouraged him during that time. And he never made it like as an NFL quarterback, but then he started working with a lot of the teams as a character coach, chaplain, player development, just a great guy. Was with the Texans, and the Commanders, snatched him up. And he is amazing, like character, just leadership off the charts, just a great guy. Talk about servant leadership. So he's like Dan's right-hand guy in many ways. And he texted me and said, hey, I'm in the office with DQ right now. We're just thinking it'd be great to have you come up and speak to the team before we go to Tampa. And Jim, I almost said no, because I wasn't feeling well. I was pretty sick because I got the flu on January 3rd. And when they invited me up, I was just trying to get better. And literally, God gave me the vision of what I should talk about. And when I got that vision, I said, all right, I got to come. And it was one of the most spiritual experiences I've ever had speaking to a team. These guys were so hungry. They were so special. There was a connection there.
Great culture. Yeah, great culture.
The culture was unbelievable. What Dan Quinn has done with that team, with Jaden Daniels, the kind of leader he is, blew me away. Bobby Wagner, I knew from speaking to the Seahawks. Zach Ertz, I knew from speaking to the Eagles. So I had spoke the Chargers. Anthony Lynn is a quote offensive coordinator or assistant coach on that team. He's the head coach of the Chargers. Spoke to his team. So Ken Norton Jr. is one of my friends as well. He gives my books away all the time. So all these guys that I knew from all these past teams are now on this one team. It goes to the importance of building your culture, building your team with the right people. And when you build with the right people, you have great results.
Well, can I just jump in here? Because I think it was a great question and a great answer, but I gave me a great concept. You kind of talking about working by referral, like you're getting referred from one person to the other. This could really catch on. We might try and work on this. I had dinner with Allison Levine last night. Okay. And I said to Allison, Jon, she goes, well, we never met in person, but I know people who knows him. He's an awesome guy. And it was some actor you helped write a book. Oh. And I think the reason, Matt?
Matt Del Negro.
And she goes, yeah, we don't know each other, but I hear he's a great dude. And I go, you'd love him. And she goes, we know some awesome people, don't we? And back to the principle of John said it earlier on in our broadcast. He went all in. I'm going to go serve. I'm going to go do good. How many times did you do something for people when there was nothing in it for you, John?
So if I was going to tell everyone to read one book of mine, it would be The Carpenter, and it's love, serve, and care. That's the gist of it. You love others, you serve them, you show you care. That is the greatest marketing tool of all. That is the greatest success principle. You love, you serve, and you care. And that's something, if I look at my career, I never had the instant success. I never had the short-term gain. I'm 54 now, and like I feel like things have finally just come to fruition of what I wanted all these years. And I realized, it's about loving, serving, and caring. And you don't win the short game doing that, but you definitely win the long game. And the more you invest in the root, you have fruit over time. And it takes time to do that, but the referrals happen. I just got referred by several people today for other businesses. And then the exponential growth happens from the referrals. But also, I know you guys are really big on that and coach that. Ask for referrals. This is where